Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a simple dodging game where you can collect points and then lose points if you hit or collect the wrong objects. It's a really nice way to start off the castle journey, so let's start. First, what you want to do is create a new deck. We're going to create a blank, then you're going to get an empty blueprint, and this is going to be our character. So we're going to make our character for now a circle. Now once you got your character created, you're just gonna give it a good collision. Then we're gonna make the movement for the character, and to do this we just wanted to go on one axis because we wanted to go left and right, not up and down or rotating. So we're gonna do that by going into the movement section. We're gonna click here and we're gonna add solid to this character, and then we're also gonna press dynamic here, and then we're gonna add an axis lock. That is just to lock us to a certain axis, what is going to be the x-axis, what we want. To get the x-axis, we're going to click off move vertically and rotate. So this means we'll only move left to right. And then to move the actual character, we can choose between multiple different ways to move it. You can choose analog stick, drag, or slingshot. For now, I'm going to choose drag because it seems like the best option. We're actually going to remove the solid. I'm going to add that on something else. So now once we've got the character down, we're going to get another actor, but this actor is going to be the dragging mechanism to move the character. So we don't have to have any art for this, but just for now I'm going to add some art. And we're also going to go back to the character and remove the drag from the character. Then we're going to go on this, we're going to add dynamic on it, we're going to make it solid, and then we're going to also give this an axis lock, where we remove the rotation and the vertical. Then we're going to go on this again, add the drag on this, because basically what we are doing is we're going to drag this instead of the character because this is way bigger. And we're going to go on to logic here on this, and we're going to say when this is created, it's going to repeat as low as the seconds as you can go just by pressing the minus. And we're going to say tell closest actor, or you can just say actor. I'm just say actor with a tag. We still have to create the tag, but I'm just going to name it character. We're going to tell the actors with the tag character to modify their expedition to be the variable of a behavior property of the behavior property of the expedition of this actor. So basically what we're doing is just modifying their expedition to the expedition of this actor. And when we click, we're going to say like on myself, and we're going to say to the closest actor with the tag move, because we're going to name this move, and we're not going to make it relative, just make it like that. Then we're going to add the tags now. So on this one we're going to add the tag move, and on the character we're going to add the tag character. And now the move thing has to be bigger, so I'm going to make it 4 large, and because we made it solid we have to make it way to make it not go out the map. So we're going to just get a simple wall, and then we're going to place it on each side here. But we must keep in mind that the size of this compared to the character is way different, so we can't make it just on the walls here. We have to actually move it 4 out. So looking at my expedition, all I want to do is get it to negative 9.5. So I'm just going to type 9 here, and then do the same for the other one. If you look there, I want it 9.5 now, and just make it 9.5. So I'll go out to the size of the actor. Now if we move it, it'll take it all the way, but we won't be able to see the character, so we're going to minus it and just make it 7 on both sides instead. And now when we're done this, we can click on this actor and make it not visible now. So now when you test it, we can move this actor, it doesn't go past the boundaries, and you can't see the red now. What is what we want. Now we're going to add some slowing to this character to make it slow once it's not moved. Go to this red actor that we made the touch control, and we're going to add a slowdown to the movement tab, and I'm going to make the slowdown 50. I'm going to do the same thing for the character here. I'm going to go and slow down and make it 50. So now once we move it and let go, it should slow after some time. So it just makes it so it's not constantly getting dragged and stuff. And now what we're going to do is going to make the falling objects and the spawning of them. So to do that, we're going to make a blueprint here, and we're gonna first have to make the objects. So all we're gonna do is make a good and a bad object. Well, I'm gonna do this right now. Make this now. We're gonna go on the movement section and we're gonna give it a fixed rate because it's just gonna be going from the top moving downwards. And then we're gonna give this one what is gonna be the bad one. We're gonna add the tag bad. Then to make it move down, we can either modify the Y velocity, or what I'm gonna do, modify the gravity, make it dynamic, and add gravity of 1. So basically what the gravity does is it just makes it fall more smoothly. What could be what you want or not, because some people want linear, what is just constant movement, but for this I'm gonna make gravity. And then because that's bad, we can go on the character and say when the character collides with bad, it's gonna minus 1 HP, and when it collides with good, it's gonna plus 1 point. So we're gonna go on character here, and we're gonna say when this collides with bad, it's gonna modify the HP. So first we have to make the HP. We're gonna go in variables, make an HP variable, and then we're gonna make it start with, let's say 10. Then to see the variable, we're gonna make a text, and then we're gonna put it in the top left. We're gonna name this $HP. And what we're also gonna do is we're gonna make HP and then colons in front so we know the player knows it's the HP. And you can combine the two texts like this, the variable name and other string text. And then I'm gonna left orientate it and put it in the middle. Now you can see HP in the top left. Now I have to actually make it minus HP. We're gonna make it on the actual object. We're gonna say when this collides with character, it's gonna modify the HP variable of the deck variable, HP to -1. And we're gonna make this one relative. Then what it's gonna do is gonna destroy actor, and you can also say play sound, and I'm just gonna make it that sound. Now we also need a score variable for the good things that fall down. So we're just gonna copy this HP text and we're gonna make a new one, place it on the other side. And what we're gonna do for this one is we're gonna make a new variable, and that's gonna be named score. So we're gonna right orientate it, then we're gonna name it score colons. Now the variable name, what is gonna just be score, and I'm gonna give this orange color. First we have to make the score variable now, so we're gonna add a variable, we're gonna name it the exact same thing, score, and now you can see it changes, and we just make it a little bit of darker color. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag this to make it longer in case someone gets a higher score. I'm gonna make it all the way to the HP here. So now we're gonna make the good thing that falls down. So we're just gonna fork this by pressing this button, and we're gonna make it green instead of red, and we're gonna change the tag to good. So now we're gonna say when this collides with character, it's gonna modify a variable, but not the HP variable. It's gonna modify actually score variable to +1. So we're just gonna make it 1 with relative, and we're gonna make like a good sound. So I'm making it this, and it's gonna destroy that. So now we need a spawning mechanism, and to do this I'm just going to create an empty blueprint. I'm going to make a design for it, you don't have to. And now you're going to go here and say when it's created, it's going to basically have a random variable that's going to keep on making to decipher whether it's going to make a good circle or bad circle. So we're going to make a local variable what's going to be named random here, and then we're going to say when it's created, it's going to repeat every 1 second, modify the value of a variable, and it's going to be the random variable, and we're going to modify it from a random number in a range of 1 to 2, because it's just 50-50 odds. And we're going to say only choose whole numbers, and once we've done that, underneath that we're going to say if logic now, and say if condition is met, run response. And the response is just going to be if it's 1, then it's going to create a good one. If it's 2, it's going to create a bad one. So when I say if variable meets a condition, what is random, meets a condition of 1, what is just equal to 1, then it's going to create the good variable, and we're going to click on relative position, change it to absolute position, because this is just not relative to where the actual spawner is, and will create at the same position every single time. And then we're going to change the x and y to be a random number in the range for the x because a normal castle card without moving around has the base values of -5 and +5 on each x variable, and on the y variable it is -7 and +7, because the total length is 10 on the x and 14 on the y. So we're going to keep that in mind. We're creating the x. We're going to say -5 as the minimum and 5 as the maximum. And we're going to do the same thing for the y. We're going to say create a random number in the range. And we're going to make it -7 as a minimum and 7 as the maximum. So this would work if you're just making a deck where you want it randomly on the screen, but for now we just want it to be above and only on the x-axis. So we're going to make this y-axis not a random range. We're just going to make it a constant number, and we're going to make it -8 because -8 is one space above the top of the card, so we can't see it when it spawns. What is what we want. So we're going to do the same thing for the bad object. We're going to say another if function here. When variable meets condition, and this is the random, if it's equal to 2, it's going to create the bad object that we made. And then we're going to make it the same thing with the x position. So it's going to click on it, make it random from -5 to 5. And then the y position is going to be -8. And remember to make it absolute. So now once that's done, we can play test it now, and we can see that multiple are falling now above the top of the card, and we can start dodging and collecting the scores. And once we hit the red ones, our HP goes down. So right now this just creates one every 1 second, and there's no scaling to make it harder or easier. So that's what we're going to do right now. So instead of creating every 1 second, just that, we can't change this every 1 second here. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to make this 1 second every 0.05 seconds. It's going to repeat quite frequently, and on top of that we're going to have if condition, and then we're going to wrap everything in condition here. And for this we're going to say if coin flip shows heads. So this is going to make it now the probability. If it's true, then it's going to keep on doing this very frequently, and we're going to start with the probability of being every 0.5. We're going to make the probability 0.001 to start off here, and then underneath here we're going to say it's going to modify the local variable, and we're going to make it up or whatever you want to make it. And we're just going to say we're going to plus basically the local variable. That local variable we're going to make into the chances, and we're just going to raise the chance the longer the time the thing keeps repeating. We're going to add 0.01 and make it relative. Then instead of just having this 0.001, we're going to first create the variable, make the variable 0.01, and then we're just going to go back. We're going to modify this to be the local variable, what is up. And what's going to happen now is the up variable is going to keep on raising, making them spawn more often. So what I'm going to do is make this more balanced. So instead of 0.001, we're just going to make it 0.01. It's going to modify it, and it's only going to modify it to be plus. We're going to only want it to be modified plus if a certain amount is made, but then after that it creates way too many. So we're going to make a floor to make it stop. And to do this, we're just going to have to go here, and then we're going to just create a response before, and I'm just going to make an if condition here because it's going to be separate, and I'm not going to make everything an if condition. And all we're going to do is just we're going to create it inside here, and we'll just say the same thing, modify the local variable up to be 0.01 plus, and we're going to remove the previous one. But the if condition, what we're going to make now is if variable up is less than, and we're going to say for this, if it's less than 0.1, then it'll do that because 0.1 will be the maximum floor, but it'll still work like normal. So now once we play test it, it'll start creating a lot quite fast, but it basically works as normal. You can once again switch off the gravity and make it just make it the y velocity by not making it negative, but just by making it a certain number, then it'll move down. But as you might notice, this will lag after some time because the variables are not destroyed once the actor doesn't collect them or collide with them. So what we're going to do is just create another variable here, and this is going to be the kill zone. We're just going to remove the actors once they touch this. So we're just going to make it red again. I'm just going to add like an X on it. You won't be able to see this in game, but I'm just going to do this for whatever reason. So now what we're going to say is we're going to add deleter onto it, and then we're going to go onto this good object and say when this collides with deleter, it's just going to destroy the actor. And then we're going to say the same thing for the red one. Now I'm going to drag the deleter and just make it long enough so the same size of the card. I'm going to make it a little bit below so it doesn't delete straight away. So now when the object comes over and it spawns and I don't get it, it's just going to get destroyed at the bottom. But now once you collide with enough red objects, you actually won't die and you'll just stay in the negative. So let's just quickly make a death screen for the game. So to do this, we're just going to say on the character, when the variable, what is the deck variable HP, is less than 1, or what you can do is going to go on the character and say when the variable HP, what we're going to check now, is equal or less than 0, we're just going to create a death screen to restart the card. So it's just going to create a variable. So we're just going to make this a text. We have to quickly make it now. We're going to put it here, just make a quick restart text. I'm just going to make it restart quickly. I'm going to make this centered in the middle, and I'm going to make it 4 times bigger by pressing it 4 times, maybe 5 times. So this is how it's going to look. Then what we're going to do is just go back on the character, and we're going to say it's going to create same text we just made, but in the absolute position 0, 0. That's just going to create it in the middle of the card once our variable HP is way too low. And then we're going to go onto the spawner thing that spawns circles now. We're going to add a tag onto it, name it spawner, and then we're going to go on the character and we're going to say it's also going to tell tags with the actors with the tag spawner to destroy this actor. That's basically just going to remove the spawning so the game doesn't go on once you die. And then we have to make the restart work. So we're just going to go on it and we're going to say when it's tapped, it's going to modify variable HP to be 10, and then it's going to modify the variable score to be 0, and then on top of here we're going to say it's going to restart card. So let's just test it real quick by getting 0 HP. So it's going to collide with the red ones, and then now it just stops the spawning. We can press the restart and it restarts the deck. What I'm going to do just to balance it a bit more, I'm going to go on the spawner and I'm going to change the current up to 0.01, and then I'm going to change the floor to be a bit higher, making it from 0.1 to be 0.08, what seems like a good enough amount. And now you have your spawning game. We can dodge the red ones, collect the green ones, and see if you get your highest score you can get. And then to further clean it up, we can take the spawner and then we can make it not visible no more. So now you have a fully functioning dodging game in Castle. And guys, for watching the tutorial, the longer tutorial, but it's full game concept. So see you guys next time, making more tutorials and updates on my other games on my Castle page that you can follow in the link below. So see you guys next time, and bye bye.